and safer retirement, Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
5 minutes after 8 o'clock. Nice looking Tuesday. It just looks beautiful out there, doesn't it? It didn't rain at all yesterday, right?
No, it didn't.
Did it look like it was
Not
going
that
to?
I
I
recall.
can't remember. There was rain in the forecast yesterday.
Yeah.
Though, right? It didn't happen.
It looked like it, but it didn't work.
Galen Unold is on the phone from LifeSouth Community Blood Center. I swear I see LifeSouth yesterday. Oh, at Walmart. I think I saw LifeSouth at Walmart yesterday. And in fact, my visit to Walmart gave me the idea for this segment with Galen this morning. The subtopic, I guess you call it. Good morning, Galen.
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are y'all?
Pretty good. Are you back in the swing now after your vacation?
Yeah. Mondays will do that for you. But Mondays will shake you right back into reality pretty easily.
There you go.
Fast.
There you go. So where are you right now?
I'm at the office.
At the office. You get there quicker these days, I think.
Yeah.
And what's the state of the blood supply?
Again, right now we really need O negative and platelets, and that we really need everybody to give all types because we're also short on B negative and A negative. So if you've got blood in your veins, we need it.
Somebody the other day, we were doing one of our Oompa surprises
right.
to raise money for literacy. And somebody who listens to the show said that they actually give blood because of this segment.
Yeah.
So I thought I would tell you that. Yeah.
Love it. And before we get too started, I just want to send out my prayers to the Ocala Police Department and the two families that were involved in yesterday's pretty tragic event. So
very tragic event, yeah.
Yeah, and I know that law enforcement's really close to you and your father and your brother, and it's just a tough time right now for the men in blue, and let's think about them today.
Yeah, and we can all second guess what should have happened. We can all say, "Oh my gosh, you shouldn't clean your gun this way or that way," but accidents happen.
Yeah.
And it really is just a horrible, horrible accident. And
what a freak occurrence it sounds like. So yeah. No matter what, at the bottom line, there's two families that are
that's right.
never going to be whole again, and let's pray for them so that they can
Absolutely.
have God's grace today.
Absolutely, wonderfully said. Yeah, and don't ever leave out in these kinds of situations the person who has the guilt with him or her the rest of their lives. So
absolutely.
So.
You know what? That's a tight knit group of individuals, and I'm sure they're rallying around both families. And
they are called the finest for a reason. Firefighters are called the bravest for a reason. So
absolutely.
He died in surgery, actually. So
yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned it this morning. I hope you don't think we were just avoiding that story. We talked about it.
I heard it. I just wanted to share my condolences.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So I've got a nephew who works in the sheriff's office in Jacksonville, and I called him immediately and said, "Hey."
Wow.
And he even mentioned. He said, "You know what? He said I wear my bulletproof vest everywhere." He said his wife bought it for him. When he got the job, and he says, I wear it everywhere. And I don't know enough to know if the bulletproof vest would have stopped this incident.
He was wearing it, but it went through his arm and into his chest on the side.
That's right. Okay. It's just a freak accident. I'm just sorry that it occurred.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I know everything was in place, all the safeties were in place, but some accident. All right. I remember my dad cleaning his gun. My dad would clean his gun like all the time. I would watch him clean the gun on the kitchen, the dining room table. I couldn't tell you what he did or how he did it. I just know he took it. He took it apart and cleaned it, and he didn't put it together till I don't know. I think he kept it apart all night long. I think. Then I guess he kept it apart while he was home.
Yeah.
Good morning.
All right. Well, one of the hardest.
I'm sorry to bring it down. I just wanted to.
No. It's okay. Actually, it segues into this because the police, the firefighters, serve the public, and it is serving the public that I want to focus on. I can't.
All right.
I imagine. I saw the young lady yesterday at Walmart that was also at Publix the day Robin and I gave blood, and she was out there recruiting people, and I'm thinking she has to put up with her share of nasty people too.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's it's one of those things when you first start, it's just like anything that's new. You believe that, this has got to be the greatest job in the world. Everybody you deal with is fantastic.
Right.
But if you do it long enough and you're in front of enough people, you're gonna find one or two that you're like that just don't get it, don't understand blood donation, think it's wrong, all kinds of things, and they have no problem with sharing that with you. And some people find it offensive that you even ask them. They get grossed out, all those kinds of things. And again, that's why I love this opportunity. I don't know how to many people change the station when I come on, but I think that number's getting fewer and fewer.
No.
But
It is.
Love you.
Well,
I haven't run into it in a long time because I'm not in the front line, so to speak, anymore. But I still get stories about once a month that somebody will call me and just need to be, talked up after a really bad encounter. Because it becomes so personal when you work here. This is a job that you don't just leave when you leave the building. The stories that you hear about people who are touched and the people that come in and donate. It's a personal feeling.
Well, let me just tell you.
We're not dealing with widgets, as I always say.
Let me tell you. I know you know this already because radio is part of you as well. But my thought on how radio serves the listenership the best, or the person speaking the best, it depends, is the fact that we can do exactly what you do with us, Galen. You get the message out about the business that you're in. The business that you're in is to try to get people to donate blood. That's the business, okay? Right. But then we get to know Galen Unold, and we get to know him through his sense of humor. We get to know him through the things he becomes emotional about. We get to know you through everything that makes a human being human. And what that does for the rest of us is it makes us feel like we know you and therefore understand that this whole message that's really a smaller part of the show, but the most important part of the show, is coming from somebody we trust. That's what I think happens when somebody does like an infomercial and they don't adhere 100% to the subject.
Yeah.
I think adhering to the if we've talked for a half hour, now we've done this. We've talked for a half hour about blood donation when it was necessary. But for the most part, like today, we talk about something else.
Yeah.
Matt Gibbs is a great example of this too, the mechanic on Mondays.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, quite often, we're talking about, Merkins or something. That Merkin story was something else yesterday.
Yeah, that was good.
But anyway, so this segment with Galen is sponsored by Penn Flooring. It's an important message, too. They have some wonderful, beautiful flooring over there that you can remodel your home with. Check out the showroom and take advantage of the fact that they are professionals. They put the floor in as well as explain to you everything you need to know about the floor, including taking care of it. They've been doing this for 25 years plus. And their showroom is at 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just by the McKay-Williams Bridge, which crosses the railroad track on 17th Street.
Yeah.
Not too far from Pine.
Beautiful.
So yesterday, Galen, I don't know if you heard, I'm going to tell you the story. If you heard it already, then I'm sorry.
I love it. Do it again.
Went to Walmart, stood behind a guy in line. He had a shopping cart with Ensure or something, and he had just like lots of 6-packs of Ensure. He had chocolate, he had strawberry. I don't know if he had any other flavors, but I saw chocolate and strawberry. So he puts one up on the counter, has 20 in the total 20. And he says to the lady, I have 20 of these. And she goes, well, how many do you have of each flavor? He goes, I got 20 of these.
Yeah.
She said, I know, I understand, but I need to know how many they have. I got 20. You take the price of this one, you multiply it by 20. That's what I owe you.
Yeah.
So he's getting upset at her, right?
Right.
She's saying, but I need to know how many you have of each flavor. He grabs it. He puts it back in his cart. He shakes his cart. He leans over the counter, looks at her, says, what is your name? And then looks at her name tag and says, I got your name. You don't have to be rude to me, she says. And he storms off. Now it's my turn.
Yeah.
I pay for my stuff. I said, you're right. He was rude to you, and I hope this doesn't ruin your day. I wish I could do something to me. She said, no, that's all right. And I looked at her, and I realized she was really... What's the thing from Taylor Swift? What's that song? Brush it off? Shake it off.
Shake it off.
She shook it off. She shook it off. And I said, gosh, it must take a lot of this to be able to be like that. I mean, you must have to put up with a lot of nonsense from the public before you can really shake it off.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, you have to toughen your skin. You know, when we were on the cruise and you were thinking, here's a vacation where people are going to usually be in a pretty good mood. And I was dealing with their customer service because I had a problem with one of my sons, his key card. And so there's a line. I mean, there's 5,000 people on the boat. And this guy, he waited in line for 35 minutes. And he was right next to me so I could overhear it because he was loud. He was complaining that he had to wait in line for 35 minutes. After he was done venting, he left.
Oh.
That's all he complained about was waiting in line.
Oh my gosh.
And I looked over at the lady and I'm like, did he just complain about waiting in line, that he chose to wait in line and do nothing else? I mean, he wasn't forced to go on this line. I'm sure he got so mad he forgot what he was going to deal with. But it's like, let some things go. And I told her, I said, what are you going to do? And she laughed after that. She didn't laugh until I brought it up, but because I think she realized that, he's complaining about waiting in line after he chose to wait in line.
Yeah, right.
And you told your story yesterday about riding with the tour guide. What was his name?
Gavin.
And that I can relate to because I do the same thing. I like to get to know the name of the person. I sometimes will ask, are you married? Sometimes I'll ask things like that. But I don't want them to think that you're my servant and you got to do what I want you to do.
Yeah.
I know everything about that guy now. I mean, I know what tribe he's on and he came from and his family heritage. It's pretty incredible.
That is cool.
We're friends now on Facebook. So.
Is that right?
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah.
All right, so let me take a break, and then when we come back, I have some horror stories from servers, people who serve the public. And some of these are just going to make you, laugh. And put it this way, if you do serve the public and you have that thick skin like the Walmart lady had yesterday, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
It's hard.
You get a tough skin doing this, but I think that is harder.
Yeah.
I think that is harder. All right, we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny and warm today with a shower or thunderstorm around during the afternoon and evening, the high 82 to 86. Partly cloudy overnight, low 64 to 68. Sunshine mixing with building clouds tomorrow with a thunderstorm around at the afternoon, the high 84 to 88. Thursday, sunshine and warm, the high 85 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services. When your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements, from damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
All right, 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. Galen Unold is on the phone from LifeSouth Community Blood Center. One of the challenges I have is to bring up something we've never talked about. We actually have talked about this before. But, Galen, yesterday we had a guest who brought up something we've never talked about. It was canning. I've never once had a conversation with somebody about canning. I mean, it's come up on Carol Ann's show, I believe, but not a full-length conversation about canning things.
That's right.
Making your own ketchup.
Yeah, I don't know anything about canning.
No, I don't either. I still don't, even after the conversation. Although I know where to go. What was the magazine called?
Well, there you go. That's half the battle.
What was the magazine she represented?
Better Homes and Gardens.
Better Homes and Gardens, yeah.
Yeah, if all of a sudden you decide you want to start, canning, you'll know where to start.
Nah, I'm okay with the Heinz Company and the Klaus. What's the pickle I buy?
Right.
Yeah, Clausen.
I have a friend, and they make their own beef jerky. And I'm like, and it's really good. And they don't share it very often because it's very expensive to make. And it's really time consuming. And they're like, I could teach you how. And I'm like, no. Just the materials alone I don't have. Like, I asked him, like, well, you know, how much stuff does he get? Well, I'll have to email you the list. If you have to email me the list, it's too much. Right? And then well, you know,
everybody's got their own thing.
Like if somebody says, hey, Larry, I want to learn how to play the accordion. You know you're going to need an accordion, and that's about it, right?
Well, yeah, and some time. You're going to need some time.
Well, time is whatever you make of it. I mean, it's not like I'm going to have to go out and buy like 45 different ingredients to play the accordion.
Right.
So, yeah. But anyway, it's pretty good.
All right, so I have some horror stories from servers. Here's one. A wealthy woman came in to the restaurant. This is a waitress. And she stacked $21 bills across her table. She spread them out, I guess. When something annoyed her, like a loud customer or a radio or anything, she would take $1 away. The amount that was left was the tip.
Oh.
She had a $70 meal, and she left this lady $1.
Oh, my gosh.
She was annoyed at the baby crying. She was annoyed at somebody talking loud on the other side. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
You know, with children, those of us that have had children, it's easier for us to understand children, right?
Right.
But there are some restaurants you don't bring a child into. And then there are some restaurants, you know, if I go into the Cracker Barrel, I expect there to be children.
Of course. I always expect
if I go
children.
to Mark's, if I go to Mark's Prime, let's take the other extreme. I don't necessarily think kids should be in there crying.
No,
So,
because that's a high-end restaurant. That's high.
Yeah. First of all, you're paying way too much for a kid's meal at Mark's Prime. And honestly, if you have kids of that age, you're usually broke.
Right.
So, yeah. But you can't get it. It's not the child's fault.
No.
And usually the parent's just as bad. You know, we were at Easter service on Saturday, and this lady, you could tell she was really trying to enjoy the service, but she had a 2-year-old that was being 2. And, you know, and when you're 2, you can't control yourself. And so she finally got up and left the service, and the pastor said, yeah, let's send out a prayer for them. It was pretty funny. One of those kind of moments.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Yeah.
All right, so here's another one. Duke won the basketball thing last night, right?
Yeah, they sure did. Yep.
So here's one.
5 points.
Here's one. Yeah, Robin was happy that Wisconsin almost made it.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So this company, this catering company, hosted a Duke frat party one time. By the end of the night, they had ripped the sink off the wall, peed on the walls, and destroyed the artwork in the room.
Oh.
That's the whole thing.
That is
probably
disgusting.
has more to do with their kids.
That's nothing.
Let's be honest.
That's all.
That is disgusting.
I mean, you know, kids do stupid things.
Or listen to this one.
Doesn't make it right. Just saying, they just do stupid things.
I know. This lady was waiting on 2 women. She saw one of them pull a hair from her head and put it on her salad.
Oh.
She said to the lady, "Why are you putting your hair in the salad?" And she screamed, "I didn't do that. I found this hair in my salad, and I'm not paying for it." She yelled for her manager. She told him what she saw. The manager told her to apologize, and she said, "No, the lady demanded that I be fired," and she grabbed her iced tea and dumped it on her.
Oh, gee.
She quit 2 weeks later after 13 years at that
Who
job.
dumped it on? Did the waitress dump?
No. The lady who put the hair in her thing. She was mad because the waitress saw her put the hair.
Oh, that is disgusting.
The the waitress pulled the hair out of her head and put it.
No. The lady sitting at the table pulled the hair out of her head.
Okay.
And put it in the salad. The waitress watched it happen. I
understand.
I watched one time at Charlie Horse a lady sit down and eat like 18 out of 20 shrimp or whatever it was.
Yes.
Remember this?
Yes.
And then she complained that the shrimp was no good.
Right. Right.
And the waitress said, "But you ate like all of them almost."
Yeah.
I don't care. I want to see the manager. The manager or the chef or whatever came out. This is Charlie Horse right here in Ocala.
Yeah, right,
And he gave her a free meal.
Yeah. Isn't that
You know, and
disgusting?
when you're in a customer service situation like that, you have 2 choices. And I've had like when I was in Ocala, I had a donor just really accost one of the phlebotomists. It was just unfair. And what you have to do is just kind of calm down the situation. But it's tough to do as a manager, when you don't know the whole story, you're just getting, side A and side B, and you have no idea which to go. You always default to the customer, and then you feel really bad that you didn't back your employee, but you're kind of, it's a catch-22. So that's tough to do sometimes.
Here's another one. Let's see. A table of 6 tipped this waitress with a McDonald's gift card, and it had no money on it.
Oh,
come on.
Oh, man.
It's not nice. A group of 6 men dressed as Santa Claus asked the waitress if she had been a bad girl and kept demanding that they sit on their laps.
Oh, gee. That's awful.
That's great. 6 Santa Clauses.
That's awful.
6 perverted Santa Clauses.
Jeez.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Oh, I have zero tolerance for anybody that would yell at a waitress or antagonize a waitress. But like a lot of people, when I was younger, I worked in the food service industry. And if you want to antagonize your waitress at the end of the meal, that's your business. But just speaking from my own experience, don't antagonize your server in the middle of the meal because they can touch your food. Thanks, Larry.
Thank you. Here's another one. A group of women who had just come from church refused to tip the waitress because they said waitressing is a form of prostitution.
Oh, gee, just came from church.
They considered waitressing.
Oh, yeah. I understand what you said. I'm just like, what? How do you make that leap?
Really?
Wow.
I mean, seriously, how do you jump to there? Okay. Okay, because here's the equivalent. If you're a child and your mom serves you dinner, is that the same? No, I guess because you don't pay. What?
I know.
What? I don't know.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Right.
Here's one. This lady says she worked as a bus girl at a restaurant and frequently got hit on by older male customers. One night, a 50-year-old man who she thought looked vaguely familiar started making crude comments to her. About 2 minutes later, she realized he was a friend of her parents, and the other couples at the table also knew her family. The next time he implied I should put her boobs in his face, she responded by saying, "I'll tell my parents you said hello."
Oh, geez. That's good.
That's
like
awful.
that.
Go to the Cafe Risque if you're going to do that.
Yeah, right. Because they're in a job. Their job demands that you make
That's
crude
right.
comments.
Exactly.
Yeah, can you imagine the comments those girls get? Holy mackerel.
Yeah. Yep.
This one worked at a fish and chips restaurant. They only had one table all morning. I guess she only had one table all morning. An elderly couple and their middle-aged son. The lady left for the restroom and was in there for a long time. When she finally came out, her husband paid the bill and left me a $50 tip. Right before leaving, she informed me someone had thrown up all over the toilet. Nope, it was not throw up. It was the other.
Oh,
and it was everywhere.
Gee. Oh, God.
All over everything.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, that's nasty.
Oh, my God.
Sorry. I didn't pre-read that one.
That is disgusting.
I'm not going to comment on that.
No, that's a gross one. All right, let me see if I can have one that's less nasty. Okay. Let's see. It was a very busy Friday night. I put the plates on the table and warned the guests that the dishes were very hot. Out of nowhere, the one guy grabbed my butt and said, "Boy, you're a hefty girl." The other one laughed, grabbed his plate, and screamed that it was boiling hot. He then proceeded to call me fat and told me to get the manager. I went in back and immediately started to cry. I told my manager, who instructed me to shake it off and continue serving the table. I refused. My manager ended up finishing the table. They left a $0 tip on a $300 check.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, where is she working at?
Jeez.
Doesn't say.
I would never work there again. I mean, the manager should be fired. I can't imagine where there's a restaurant where that's okay.
If you go home and you live at home and your dad is there, dad should say, "Don't go back."
Yeah.
We'll find
Your
something better.
husband, your boyfriend, whoever. Yeah.
Go to
should
Career
not
Source.
make you do that.
Go to Career
Yeah,
Source and get a real job. All right. Not that that's not a job, but I mean maybe a more respectful job. All right, Galen. 20 seconds. Where's the Bloodmobile?
Oh, where is the Bloodmobile? We're at the YMCA today. So,
okay.
YMCA.
that's where we're at.
All right.
Yeah. this evening. And we're also at hospice. So earlier
hospice.
in the day. So,
All right.
There you go.
Well, have a great day. Go to LifeSouth on the boulevard next to the Cascades and donate blood in Danelle next to Winn-Dixie. Thank you, Galen.
All right, you guys are the best.
Thank you.
y'all.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Deliberations start today in the Boston Marathon bombing trial of Johar Tsarnaev.
Prosecutors summarized weeks of testimony, replaying video of the bombing, showing photos of the victims, and describing the actions that caused it. The defense said, again, their client was simply following in his brother's radical actions.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers. Princess Anne, Maryland police think carbon monoxide poisoning led to the death of a man and his 7 children. Co-worker Stephanie Wells says Rodney Todd hadn't been seen in over a week.
Figuring that Easter holiday, thought maybe he was going with his kids out of town to his parents' house or somewhere. But when I didn't, I just felt that something was wrong.
The family's electricity had been shut off due to an unpaid bill. They were using a generator. Duke, the new college basketball champion, beating Wisconsin 68-63.
This is just such a special group and, the best team that I've ever been a part of.
Duke guard Tyrus Jones voted the MVP after scoring 23 points. Fox News, we report, you decide.